If you caught the earlier episodes, we've been deep diving into expert interviews. Today, we get to the part I always find the most fun, turning those interviews into content that actually moves the needle. You record a 1-hour chat with an expert and suddenly you've got the raw material for months of content. The challenge is doing that repurposing smartly and efficiently. So we'll walk through formats, platforms, distribution tactics, and some tech that can make the whole thing way less painful. Let's start with the obvious. Long-form video is a content goldmine. When you record an interview on video, you automatically unlock audio, transcript, quotable sound bites, and visuals for social. You can repurpose into podcast episodes, blog posts, reports, carousels, audiograms, you name it. But you don't want to post it all at once and call it a day. You absolutely must plan the content lifecycle for maximum impact. Right, think in both directions, cut down into short social clips. You should also build up into longer assets like an ebook or industry report compiled from a series of interviews. If you planned a 12-episode expert series across the year, each conversation can become dozens of posts, and that results in one big year-end resource compilation. We always recommend being intentional during the planning stage. If you know you'll want clips for LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram, record with those outputs in mind. Ask questions that generate clear, standalone answers from your guest. Make sure you capture a few punchy quotes during the conversation. Don't get paralyzed by the technology because it's really about the story and the insight. Another big consideration is the format you choose for publishing. Video gives you options like publishing full-length on YouTube for search and depth. You can also extract the audio specifically for your podcast listeners. A quick tip is to record video even if you are primarily thinking podcast. YouTube is actually the #1 place people listen to podcasts now, surprisingly. So having that visual component gives you more discovery and repurposing power. Exactly, and short verticals are extremely huge on LinkedIn right now. If your audience is professional folks, vertical clips tend to outperform static posts significantly. Don't forget about YouTube Shorts because those clips can drive discoverability back to the main video. There's also the evergreen versus timely content debate to consider. Timely content deserves immediate pushes across all your channels. But evergreen interviews are where smart repurposing really shines. If something's evergreen, plan a solid distribution calendar to drip the content across months. You will absolutely get much more mileage out of your evergreen assets that way. On the distribution front, a few practical moves we love involve the expert. Ask the expert to share clips on their personal profile whenever that is possible. Next, utilize employee advocacy because your teammates' sharing boosts reach substantially. You should also update other touchpoints like email signatures and website banners. Make sure those touchpoints point people directly to your new content series. A key step is to actually engage once the content is live on the platforms. Respond to all the comments and follow up on any questions that come in. Let community feedback inform your future episodes and content decisions. A great comment on a clip could easily become the source for your next interview topic. Okay, let's transition to the technology aspect of this whole process. Anyone who has tried to do this manually knows repurposing is incredibly time-consuming. You can either spend hours editing clips and scheduling posts, or use tools that speed that workflow up. For sure, traditional editing suites are powerful, but require serious skill. Those suites also demand a significant investment of your team's time. Then there are some clip tools that charge per clip or force manual selection of moments. They might get you a few good shots, but still leave scheduling as a separate headache. Some social schedulers will only take pre-made assets, so they don't help you pick the moments that actually land. That's why we lean into tools that automate the heavy lifting for you. Crucially, these tools should still let you maintain control over the final narrative. For example, one platform has been a game changer for many teams we've seen. It can automatically find those viral-worthy moments in a long interview. Then it creates ready-to-post clips right from those highlighted sections. That automation means you spend less time hunting for the best quote. And you can spend more time actually crafting the message and distribution plan. Right, and beyond just cutting the clips, the scheduling process matters a lot. Some tools do the editing part, but then leave you to upload everything everywhere manually. An auto-schedule feature lets you set a desired posting frequency. Then the system queues up the content automatically based on your established cadence. That single feature alone can save your team hours every single week. Plus, having a unified content calendar in the same place where the clips live is underrated. You can preview what's going out next week and shuffle things around easily. This gives you a clear view of everything resting in your content bank. It moves you from posting one-off pieces to having an actual content plan. That plan can effectively support a bigger narrative like a thought leadership campaign. Now, to be fair, not every tool out there does this job well for you. Some will do auto-edit, but pick odd, out-of-context cuts in the process. Others might lack multi-platform export, forcing you to manually resize and caption. A lot of creators get stuck stitching together 3 different tools for editing, scheduling, and calendar management. That constant stitching together creates a lot of unnecessary friction in the workflow. Exactly, and friction is the enemy because it kills consistency in your publishing rhythm. If you can remove the daily busywork, you are much more likely to publish regularly. Publishing regularly puts you in a tiny club, as only about 1% of users post weekly on LinkedIn. Therefore, consistent creators receive disproportionate visibility across the network. Let's quickly talk about the actual outputs from just one recorded interview. First, you get the full-length video for YouTube and your company website. Then you get the clean audio track for all your dedicated podcast platforms. You can create highlight reels specifically optimized for Shorts and Instagram Reels. Plan for 10 to 20 short clips exclusively for the LinkedIn feed. Also include 4 to 6 carousels or static summary posts from key takeaways. Don't forget the transcript turned blog post for SEO benefits. If it was a series, create a downloadable guide or ebook from the combined interviews. Add in some audiograms for those audio-first listeners who prefer not to watch. Finally, make infographics to share across your more visual social channels. And when you have the right tooling, you can scale all of that output with templates. You can use the same lower thirds, caption style, and brand colors across every clip automatically. That keeps everything cohesive while saving you massive amounts of editing time. One more operational point is that you must measure and then iterate on your results. Track what's actually working in terms of performance metrics. Are your carousels getting a lot of shares right now? Do your short clips drive a high amount of watch time from new viewers? If one episode's clips do better as carousels, plan the next recording with prompts for more carousel material. Also, remember to refresh those long-form assets over time for continued success. Blog posts derived from interviews should be updated quarterly, specifically for SEO. Tweak the headlines, add any new relevant insights, and keep them optimized for search intent. That is how evergreen content continues to compound its value for your business. Okay, here are quick wins for teams ready to start repurposing expert interviews today. Number 1 is to plan all your intended outputs before you even press record. Number 2, capture extra quick sound bites at the end of the interview explicitly for social clips. Number 3, get a tool that automates both the clip selection and the scheduling process. Number 4, make distribution a team effort where experts, leadership, and allies all amplify the content. And if you're weighing different options, look for tools that offer good AI selection. But they must also let you tweak the output without needing a dedicated video editor. The sweet spot is finding that balance between automation and control. The AI does the heavy lifting, and you just add the final human touch where it matters most. Totally, we want tools that speed us up but don't make our content sound robotic or generic. The human angle is the primary reason why expert interviews are so valuable in the first place. Before we wrap up, here is a small reality check on the process. Repurposing still requires dedicated human attention and oversight. Tools help you scale your output, but you still need to review messaging and engage with the audience. Do not offload all your critical judgment to the automation software. I couldn't agree more, and if you are starting small, here is a simple 90-day plan. First, record 2 expert interviews to test the waters. Use the first one to test different formats like long-form, shorts, and carousels. Track what performs best across your main platform and audience. For the second interview, lean into what worked and double down on that success. Love that structured approach. Now for the final bit on resources. If people want a checklist to prep their interviews, drop us a line. We will send over a handy pack with templates for clip captions too. And if you're curious about trying an automated option that handles clip selection and scheduling, start there. That approach is a real time saver and helps keep your content consistent so you avoid burnout. That's it from us on this deep dive into content repurposing. We covered the why, the prep, how to record, and now how to turn recordings into an engine. This engine can fuel your content for months and months ahead. If you have questions, send them in so we can do an FAQ episode to wrap this up. Remember that no question is silly, because if it's on your mind, someone else is wondering the same thing. Reach out to us, share your feedback, and tell us what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks again for listening to the show, and we will see you next time.